We see nasty pitchers in baseball all the time, but there is one guy that just is the definition of nasty, and that is Nasty Nestor Cortes. I mean, it's literally a damn nickname, so I gotta give it to him, I guess. Now, Nestor had a pretty good 2021, but 2022 is really where he put himself on the map. So let's take a look at his career so far, the type of pitcher that Nestor is, and how he became this guy that we see today. This is Smarter Baseball, where we deep dive into everything going on throughout Major League Baseball. If you enjoy the content and want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the page, and turn on notifications. You can also follow on socials. Those are down in the description. Now let's get into Nasty Nestor. Nestor Cortes, starting pitcher for the New York Yankees. The 28-year-old left-hander stands 5'11", 210 pounds. So we got a thick king on our hands here. With over 3 years of service time, he's arbitration eligible in 2023, and he's set for free agency in 2026. Now, the first thing that we obviously have to cover about Nestor is this 1.72 inches of length on that mustache, which doesn't seem super impressive, but when you consider the fact this thing covers 3.879 inches across his face, that's where we see he gets that true nastiness from. Now, Nestor didn't always have the stash, and we'll get to that. But so far throughout his career, 5 years in the big leagues, he's been in 92 games, starting 44, going 330.1 innings pitched, with a 3.60 ERA and a 4.16 fielding independent pitching. His 39% quality start rate is a tick above average, and the 115 ERA plus and 85 ERA minus point to him being exactly 15% better than your average pitcher. The 97 FIP minus, though, means that he's probably relying a little bit more on the fielding behind him, and you can see that with the little bit higher 3.87 SIERA. Still pretty good, though. This number takes into account not only the same stuff as FIP with strikeouts, walks, and home runs, but also batted ball data. So this being a little bit higher points again to he's probably relying on some help with his defense. He's racked up 5.9 B-WAR and 4.2 F-WAR so far in his career. He's managed to maintain a pretty good strikeout and walk rate, especially keeping a really good ratio between the two of them, mainly because this is a dude that's he's not afraid to go after you in the zone. He's gonna throw strikes, and he's gonna throw them early and often, because he's not gonna get a lot of chases, he's not gonna get a lot of whiffs, so he's gotta live in the zone. He's managed to keep a pretty low average on balls in play, but this ends up kind of coming at the expense of he's prone to the home run ball and to getting hit fairly hard. The barrel, exit velo, and hard hit are all right around average, but he's sacrificing giving up some base hits for he's gonna give up the doubles and the home runs. And we can see this reflected in the fact that his launch angle is insanely high because he's giving up a ton of fly balls and pop-ups, just getting guys to lift the ball. Where this doesn't end up coming back to hurt him, though, is that even though he's not a guy that's throwing ridiculously hard, he still manages to get guys to hit to the opposite field more than they typically do. So those balls aren't getting pulled to the strong side and hit quite as hard. So they're probably staying in the park just a little bit more, going opposite field. Now, these numbers are all, you could say, roughly in the middle, but that's mainly because Nestor has about two parts of his career. The first couple years where he really struggled to establish himself, and these last 2 years, 2021 and 2022, where he's really turned into this nasty Nestor, mainly due to that mustache. But let's see what the numbers show from this 2022 season. This year, Nestor made 28 starts, going 158 1/3 innings pitched, good for just over 5 2/3 of an innings per start. He had a 2.44 ERA and a 3.13 fielding independent pitching. So again, a pretty clear gap between his ERA and that fielding independent pitching, meaning that he's probably relying a little bit more on that defense to help him out. He made a quality start in 46% of his starts this year to go along with a 159 ERA plus and 63 ERA minus, where again for those stats, 100 is average, and for a plus stat, you want to be above that. Minus stat, you want to be below. So pretty damn good. The fielding independent pitching minus of 78 and the 3.48 Sierra, again, are good numbers, but not quite in that same realm as the ERA stuff, showing that he's getting a little bit of help from his defense to boost these numbers a little bit. The 4.2 B-WAR and 3.6 F-WAR, though, both pretty solid numbers this year, just that tick below about an all-star level. He's stayed roughly the same type of pitcher approach-wise, how he attacks batters, but he's made a little bit of a change that's helped his strikeout rate increase, the walk rate decrease, and that's mainly that he's in the zone even more, even earlier, so now guys are getting more behind an account and they have to start chasing more. He's still not getting a ton of whiffs, but overall this change has definitely improved how he's doing facing batters. Now we know that he's already gonna be a guy that's not gonna give up a ton of base hits just the way that he pitches, but he's dropped that number even more, and he's dropped all of the power numbers as well because this change to attack hitters more, put them more on their back foot. They can't look to attack him. So all of the home run numbers, the barrel percentage, exit velo, hard hit, everything has dropped, and now it's all a little bit below average even. And this is all key for a guy like Nestor that is clearly a fly ball pitcher. His launch angle is still pretty high. He's giving up a lot of fly balls, but he was getting even more pop-ups this year. So despite the fact that guys were pulling it a little bit more this season, they're still hitting the ball to the opposite field. So he's getting you to hit the ball in the air, but just not in the way that a batter would ideally want to. Now, looking at his Baseball Savant percentile ratings from this year, we see again the exit velo, the barrel percentage, hard hit are all good to great. So he's not giving up that insanely hard contact, and this is letting him pitch pretty damn effectively. His strikeouts, walks, all of that are in that pretty good range because, again, while he's not gonna get a ton of whiffs, he's at least getting guys to chase now because he doesn't have great stuff, but he's gonna throw strikes. He's gonna get you behind an account, and now you're gonna have to kind of defend against him rather than being able to try to take advantage and attack this stuff. Now, Nestor's career can pretty much be broken down into two parts. The first part is when he debuted in 2018 through 2020 with the Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees, and Seattle Mariners. Primarily as a reliever, he had a 6.72 ERA. But going into that 2021 season, he made some changes to his arsenal that helped him turn into this pitcher that we see now. Mainly, he cut the slider percentage from 52.7, his main pitch that he used in 2020, all the way down to 20.1%. And he replaced a lot of this usage with a cutter that he introduced in 2021, bumping his fastball spin rate up, probably because of this cutter, but maybe he tweaked something with the fastball as well. All of this helped him get the walks a little bit more under control, and since then he was attacking hitters more and making them swing more, he's now starting to get more of those chases. Plus, he grew that sweet mustache that gave him magic powers, and now he's campaigning to try to get into Marvel movies with it. That's an actual thing. Go ahead and fact check it. When Nestor first came into the major leagues, he's primarily a fastball, curveball, changeup guy. But now over these last two seasons, he's turned into a fastball, cutter, slider pitcher, mixing in the changeup, and then he has a sinker that he uses occasionally. He primarily sticks to this fastball. Against righties, he then goes with the cutter and then throws in the slider, and then that's where he'll use that changeup. He does not throw it against lefties at all. Versus lefties though, he bumps up the fastball usage a little bit, then goes primarily with the slider and then throws in the cutter. Maybe he'll mix in the sinker just a little bit to throw you off. I think Nestor is a perfect example of how important it is to have to make adjustments in this game along any level, whether it's coming up in the minor leagues, you get to the major leagues, You've been in the majors for a while. At some point, you're gonna have to make adjustments. And the guys that are willing to do that, those are the ones that you see stick around the longest. He did not start out his career how he would have envisioned it. I will bet you that. But he was willing to add in new pitches, change up how he was attacking batters and how he was using different pitches until he found what works for him. And now it's working pretty damn well. So we see how important it is. Swallow your ego. Make those changes that you need to. Constantly keep looking to improve yourself. And eventually, something's gonna click. Comment down below. What do you think about Nestor? Is he going to be able to keep doing this? The league's going to make some adjustments back, so is he going to stay Nasty Nestor? As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support the channel and the content, like the video, subscribe to the page, and turn on notifications. You can also go follow on socials. Those are down in the description. Let's build this thing together. Let's blow up this channel, and let's provide even better quality content for baseball fans to be able to really understand what's going on throughout Major League Baseball. Thank you again for watching and supporting the channel. It means the world to me. I can't believe the support that you guys have shown this channel already. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Later.